Hey guys, what's up? Moon Mike here with you today, and today I figured I'd talk video games. Um, I've basically been in a situation where the last couple days I couldn't really do much except for play video games. So I figured I would take an opportunity to talk about them. Mostly I've been playing Forza 7. Uh, I did pick up the Ultimate Edition, so I got it a couple days early. Um, I'm not special, unfortunately. I wish I could say I was just that cool that they decided to send me an early copy, but unfortunately, not yet. Maybe not ever. But moving on. Now, this just as a reminder or a heads up to people that may not know, Forza 7 was actually developed with the Xbox One X in mind. The Xbox One X hasn't come out yet, and even when it does, Heisenberg. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it right away just because cost. Um, but it still obviously runs on the Xbox One and Xbox One S, which is what I'm using. Um, and it runs really nicely. I've played excuse me. I've played all the Forza games since Forza 3. I'm a huge Forza fan, and this is definitely the most gorgeous one yet. They do always seem to step their game up a little bit every single time they come out with a new one, and this one seems like a huge leap forward. The graphics alone are incredible. There's not really any other word for it. Uh, like it's insane to me the amount of detail that they put into it, like down to the last stitch on the upholstery. Um, and I can say that it is incredibly accurate because my car, a 2014 Honda Civic Si, actually is in the game. It's one of the, I believe it's like 700 plus cars that are available, which is really cool. It was also in, I believe it was Forza 5 or 6, uh, that they had the 2014 Civic Si in there, and I loved it. I loved how it felt. It felt true to life, and in this one, if possible, they've done it even better. I've, you know, I got curious, so I decided to take a look at the car. Um, in free look, where basically you can like open the doors and check everything out, and it is dead on. Like if you took a picture of that car in the game and sent it to me, I would probably believe that you were looking at an actual like 2014 Civic Si. Um, Down to like the instrument panel, the engine noise, which I know that it might seem crazy to a lot of people that I'm making such a big deal about stuff like the instrument panel and the engine noise and like well, not so much the handling, but it really is incredibly immersive. I play on the first person view, so you like see the steering wheel and everything, and wow. Um, I don't have a surround sound setup for just like speakers and everything, but I have these pretty sweet headphones that I've been using that do have built-in surround sound, and just I can't really think of a way to describe it. Um, it's it really is an incredible feat as far as like game development, I think. Um, and it might be because I'm definitely a racing fan, uh, but I feel like you can really see that it's taken a step up. The weather effects are incredible. I've only really seen like rain and night driving, but top notch. Um, just and the car selection is insane. Um, Again, I got the VIP or gold edition, so I have access to some of the extra packs like the Fast and Furious stuff. Um, but it's like my mind, just the amount of care that they put into it is ridiculous. And the tracks and everything, like going through the tracks, I recognize some of them from previous games, and I remember the layout. And for the most part, it feels right because they've always been really good at getting the feel of the track down, like Laguna Seca, Prague, those. Um, this one though, just minute changes make it far more immersive, and just I know I keep saying it, but it's incredible. Um, really nice game. They haven't pushed out like all of the uh, multiplayer features yet, obviously because the standard edition of the game releases in I believe like 4 days. But from what I've seen, I haven't had a chance to check out the multiplayer yet. But just wow. There's a new system where you collect cars and the cars that you own like level up your uh, collection meter basically. Obviously, the rare cars, the higher that goes, and there's like rewards and stuff. If you've got like a really nice car collection, then when you level up, your reward choices for that get better as well. Now there is one thing though that I do have a little bit of a problem with. Now, like I said, this game was designed with the Xbox One X in mind. I have the Xbox One S. Um, so, well, time for a little bit of a lesson. Basically, the difference between the Xbox One S and the regular Xbox One is the Xbox One S is a little bit smaller, looks a little bit different. It can stream in 4K, and the power adapter doesn't have that nasty brick thing attached to it. Which, thank God that's gone. That was a pain in the butt, and one more thing that could go wrong, and one more thing that could go wrong, and when it did, you couldn't really replace it ever. No, seriously, like, try and find an Xbox One, like, AC adapter. It's really hard to find, and when you do, they're like $60. This one uses the exact same power, like, cord with no brick as, like, a PS4, a TV, a computer. I'm sure many other things that I can't think of right off the top of my head. Like, even my laptop, well, no, my last laptop, it would have worked. But, regardless. It's also a little bit more powerful than the Xbox One, but the Xbox One X is far more powerful. Now, the reason why I bring all this up is because the one thing that kind of has been bothering me is loading times. Definitely a little much, I think, for the Xbox One S. Granted, I've been playing full races and everything, and I know it takes a little bit longer when you've got like 24 cars and drivers that need to be loaded up. But still, it takes long enough that before every race I can go in, check my modifications, check my car, make sure I've got the right car that I want for the track, any assists that I might want, make sure those are turned on, and then I'll go back and it's still not ready. I would say there's, I don't know, I haven't timed it, but if I had to estimate, I'd say probably 30 seconds to a minute for each race to load up, which doesn't sound like much, but it it feels like a lot longer, especially when on most other games it's a lot quicker. Um, and there's not any like cinematic or anything really to distract you. And if you already have everything set up, ready for the race, you're just kind of sitting there waiting, twiddling your thumbs, which gets old. I don't get me wrong. Once it does load up, it's a hell of a game. And it runs fine. Like I haven't noticed any clipping, any like frame drops or anything like that. Um, it takes a little while to load up, and once it's there, great. But while it's loading up, it definitely is noticeable, which I don't know. I mean, I definitely get, and to be honest, I kind of agree with what Microsoft is doing. With regard to like the Xbox One X versus the Xbox One. At first, I wasn't so sure, but with this, it's the way that systems and everything are progressing. It's not as fast as it used to be. Like back in the day, it was just a couple years between like different systems getting released. Now though, it's further in between times where you can really say like, oh yeah, the hardware's come far enough that let's release an entirely new system. So to me, it seems like what they're doing is releasing an upgraded one that can play the stuff that they now have the capability of making better. What I really like is that they're not making it so that so it'll only play on the Xbox One X. So basically, I have a game that plays fine. Like I said, there's just that loading time that realistically in the long run, not that big of a deal. You can use that time to go to the bathroom, grab a drink, whatever it is you want to do. Which is kind of nice, but at the same time, I know that if I get the Xbox One X, it's going to run nicer, it's going to look nicer, but it's kind of a trade-off, but I really do like that it still runs on, well, not last generation, not really older, because the Xbox One S hasn't been out that long, but it still runs on regular hardware. And it runs fine. It's just, if you want the full experience, it's going to take the Xbox One X, which I don't know. I understand it, and I kind of like it. I wish that the price wasn't as high as it is for the Xbox One X. It's supposed to be like $500, but I don't really want to $500 for like getting rid of a minute of loading time. Like that seems a little ridiculous. I'm sure there's going to be other games that come out that are going to have the same type of thing going on, where I'm going to play them, I'm going to know like, hey, this would probably run a lot better on the X, but I don't know, this is the first game I've played that, as far as I know, was really designed that way. So I guess time's going to really tell, but as far as Forza 7 as a game, love it. It's the variety of cars is incredible. The attention to detail is insane. Like you can be driving and it'll start raining. It'll start as like misting and then it'll get worse, and it really is incredible. And on like some of the older cars, when you're going like 100 plus miles an hour, you'll see like little details, like the windshield wipers will start to shake a little bit. Just crazy. You can tell that a lot of time and a lot of love went into every single one of these cars, and I really do appreciate that. But with that said, honestly, I can't wait to get back in and play some more. So until next time, Moon and Mike out.